Early? Finally?
Alright, we're gonna go to the ATM, get some Portuguese, some euros. We're going to get a haircut, then we're going on a food tour. So the king built 3 palaces, right? And 2 were just to be symmetrical. And the 3rd one was because he was afraid of another tsunami or an earthquake. But he died before he could live in any of them. It's so ironic, but kind of beautiful in a way.
Multi-generational place, generation passing down generation, family-owned place as well, very iconic for the city. One little roll of cured ham per person, one little sandwich of aged cheese.
Is this the same ham that like they have on the lake up there?
We'll talk about it. There have tons of kinds, right? But we'll talk about which
Ham.
Well,
Ham. Yeah, that's very hammy.
that's how you describe food, as hammy? So we just learned that Portuguese eat about 80 pounds of codfish a year.
And the tsunami wave came all the way to the church, and it stopped right at the church, huh? So they think the church protected the rest of the city from the tsunami wave. So nothing to do with the fact that the city's higher that way. People of faith, right? Back in the day. Portuguese is a little faster. So go easy. Yeah, you can see that there's still some. And we're gonna also try some samosas. That's all I have for you, right? Because it is the way it's done, you guys. It is the way it's done. This is a replica from the 12th century, right? So try and imagine this is the 12th century. So Alfama all walled in. We passed by part of the wall on the ground. This is the church, the cathedral that we were just at. So we walked next to the cathedral all the way to this watchtower here, which is like perfectly squared, you see? Like watchtowers used to be back in the day. So half of this tower, you guys, is still standing, is that wall right there. This is the castle here. So castle, Alfama, river. So why did the Arabs, you guys, settle here, right? Because this is Hastings first, like the octopus and the tin fish. And then we're gonna move on to other surprises.
Do you put the octopus on the bread then?
You can. A lot of people that are trying to decrease gluten consumption are just eating the octopus with a knife. Put it in the toast. You can put it on the bread.
The little toasting.
Yeah, the toast is great. It's so fresh.
Yeah.
But it's actually very, it's very nice. Well, it's nice.
Thank you. Eu vou estar às escuras. A sala às escuras que vejo o lume, vão dizer mãozinhas.
My mother was asking me to turn off the light because chorizo, right? Just like the Spaniards. Chorizo. And the pudding.
Is that blood sausage?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it? It looks like. So So this is how old this tradition is, you guys. So this is a digestif, right? For you to have at the end of a meal, like a good Portuguese person, to end your meal with.
It was funny, my parents retired in Arizona, right? And they sell tomato jam there.
On our food tour, we stopped at a couple different places. The first one, the ham from Bizarro Pork. We had the quince marmalade with 4-month cured sow. We had the Jorge cheese. That was Tawny Porto wine. Raw traditional cornbread. The first place was cool. And we ate on a barrel. It's kind of interesting. It was raining the whole time, so that was something we had to deal with. So we weren't able to talk that much about it, which is why I'm talking about it now. But the tour guide was very nice, and we had an interesting group of people with us. So we enjoyed our wine, and we enjoyed our snacks, and then we moved on to the next place. Stop 2, Masamba, the Mozambican veggie curry, bean stew, and coconut rice. We also had vegetarian chamucas and beef chamucas, as well as sparkling white wine and red wine or beer. Well, we didn't have the red wine. We had, well, I had a beer, and Christina had a white wine. I would say that they brought some new flavor to Portugal. The beans were actually the best. They make it with coconut milk, so the beans absorb some of the coconut milk, and it just had more flavor in general than some of the other things we tried. And the beer was the same beer that they have everywhere, Super Bock beer. I recommend. Stop 3. We had codfish Trugura Hero. We had sparkling green wine. So apparently green wine is not green, and it has nothing to do with the color of the grapes, but it has to do with where the grapes come from. The grapes come from the Verde coast, so green. It's like the same way that champagne comes from Champagne, France. It can only be called green wine if it comes from this region of Portugal. So that's why it's called green wine. There's these 2 ladies who run the shop, and the husband, who is very funny and very entertaining as well, who is sitting there cracking jokes. Stop 4, we had octopus salad, canned sardines, Portos and briosa label chorizo from Alentejo, Marcela from Saya, local bread, sheep cheese from Saya producer, flor de sal, homemade tomato jam, red wine, Terrasto Rendero, cherry liqueur, Villa de Rana, egg yolk, flan, and rice pudding, and coffee or tea. All of that was from one place that we sat for like a long time. And I would say the star of the show was the cheese and the jam combo. That was really good. The espresso was pretty good too. Oh, the sausage was really good. Sausage was really good. Both ways that the sausage was. There was like one of the chefs burning the sausage. And yeah, overall it was all great. Our tour guide was great. But after all that, we were very tired. That was also the same day we landed. So we headed back to the hotel and we crashed.
All right, so it's our first full day in Lisbon. We're getting a late start because it's been raining, but you know what? A little water never hurt nobody. It's not cold, it's just raining. So we're gonna go see some of the sights, and I think we're gonna go grab some lunch and maybe do some indoor activities since it's raining. But we were supposed to go to Sintra today, but there was no train to Sintra today, even though we walked all the way to the train station. So we'll go there tomorrow, explore that, have a nice dinner out before we head back to New York. so we made it to Times Out Market, which is like a food court. And I got sangria.
Ground burger.
What's on it?
Bacon, lettuce, tomatoes, sauce.
You got a beer too. I don't know what type of beer. Is this a Portuguese beer? Also got some sushi as well. Alright y'all, so it's our second to last night in Lisbon. We're just walking around. We just came from dinner. We had some paella and the bottled wine. Sean had a beer and wine. And we're not too far from our hotel. We actually need to stop and get some toothpaste. Maybe a little bodega has some. This is the streets of Lisbon. All decorated all pretty for Christmas.